Hello, and welcome to part two of this lengthy description of living in America, moving from England. Um, so I got to going out. So restaurants, generally speaking, are more expensive. And my husband and I were going to try and have a date night every Friday, which I think we managed two of those, and that went straight out the window because I got into a show and I started performing that every weekend. But what put us off was that we went to a bar in San Clemente. There's a street called Del Mar, which is it's a lovely little street, leads down to the beach, and it's all restaurants and things like that. And there was a bar, a wine bar, and it had some guy playing the piano, and so basically, if I'm going to drink wine, usually it's red, and I like a very heavy, full-bodied red. So I was choosing some good red wines, but to tell you the truth, there was no choice of less than a glass that was less than $10. So the cheapest by the glass was $10, and I think the most expensive one up to 17. I suppose I was stupid because I chose one that was $15. Um, and then I decided I would have a cheese board to go alongside it, which was very pleasant, but it was small. So I had a glass of red wine, kind of remember what it was, and this plate of cheeses, which was nice. My husband had spicy chicken wings, so not a dinner, like an appetizer. So he had spicy chicken wings, and he had some. Did he have a glass of wine? I think he just had beers. No, I think he just had beer for the evening. So he had that. He must have had about three or four beers, bottle beers, and I decided to have one more glass of wine, which then I couldn't finish because them being so full bodied and $15 a glass, I just couldn't get through the second glass, which I know is pretty tame, but I just couldn't. So I went. I made my husband go up to their coffee bar, which was closed at that time because they do coffees obviously for brunch. Get a plastic cup and take it home because I thought, I'm sorry, it was $15. I'm not leaving that behind. Thank you very much. But unfortunately, our bill with a tip came to over $90. So I was like, well, sod that. It might have been a nice evening out, but I'm not paying over $90 for a couple of glasses of wine, a plate of cheese, some buffalo wings, and a couple of beers again. So we have yet to find a reasonable, nice cocktail lounge to go and enjoy that won't cost us $90 for very little. So that was that. So that was a thumbs down for that. Though saying that in comparison, I mean, if we compare my local area here, San Clemente, to where I was living before, Bishop Stortford and Sawbridgeworth, it's at least we have got a street full of nice restaurants. Although saying that in Bishop Stortford now, they have got a street full of restaurants, but it's all stuff like all chain stuff, like Pizza Express and what's it called? Oh, just all the same stuff. You will see every high road. It's got Pizza Express. It's got all the regular same ones. I can't even remember the names now. I've forgotten them. Just the same that you have everywhere. Excuse me while I have a drink of water. So at least the restaurants that are down our street, and they also got some nice little clothes boutiques as well, are a hell of a lot better than that. Advice: if you're moving from America to England, though probably I don't know if I'll talk much about that. I was living in an area called Bishop Stortford and Sawbridgeworth. Um, they're very good areas in the fact that the free schools there are one of the best places in Greater London to send your kids. So if you can't afford private school, um, the free schools there are excellent. They get good grades. They're not full of ruffians. Um, they're good. my children went to a private school in Bishop Stortford, which was a great school called Bishop Stortford College. Um, so even though we lived in Bishop Stortford, we didn't take advantage of the good free schooling there. Um, but as far as the town is concerned, for me, I found it a very sleepy, tired little place. Um, no good bars, no places to go out for a good drink. Old-fashioned, grungy pubs, maybe, yes. Um, but really, not for me, not for me. I would still go over to Winchmore Hill, North London, and I'd prefer to go out with my friends there to the Willow, which was a great cocktail bar restaurant, which is now called something else, which is still really good, and go there. The restaurants I find in North London are much better because they're diverse. Um, if I have to go back to England next year, because my husband's sabbatical will be through, um, I really don't want to have to go back to Bishop Stortford because it made me, I think, just made me very depressed. It's too sleepy. It's too like death's doormat. It's too unhappening, you know. North London, at least, there's parts of North London that are diabolical. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about Winchmore Hill, um, Southgate, Cockfosters, Oakwood. Um, I will potentially look in Potter's Bar, which is just over into Hertfordshire. I will potentially look in Broxbourne again, because although I love North London, it's so expensive to buy a house now there, and we've got used to cheaper property in Bishop Stortford and Sawbridgeworth, that what I would get for money that I want to spend in North London now, I would feel too claustrophobic in the house. So, but I want to be close to my friends in North London. I want to be close to getting to North London, to that end of it, Winchmore Hill, Enfield. Enfield's not great, wouldn't want to live there anymore, but they're not far from there. Bishop Stortford for me, I don't know, even when I lived in Hatfield Heath, pretty little place, but I felt very cut off. I felt very, oh, there's nothing happening here. It's too simple. It's just too simple and tired. And, you know, anyway, that's gone off the subject a little bit. So if you're moving, I tell you where I wouldn't mind trying Surrey, but I think probably I will go to Potter's Bar, or Broxbourne or Hertford. That's a nice little town. I wouldn't mind giving that a little try, and at least I can get to my friends in North London easier from there. And at least there's more happening. There's more happening there. Back to here. Um, Yes, so what's very, very expensive, as I said, is the property tax, $750 a month, $400 a month homeowners association. The food is more expensive, but then you have the beautiful beaches, the beautiful weather, the beautiful mountains, the wonderful scenery. I would say that to buy a car here, it's cheaper. Um, I wouldn't say particularly that car insurance is, though. I'd say that it might be a little bit more expensive because they do love an insurance in this country, obviously. They want to insure you for everything and get as much out of you as they possibly can. Um, so I would say the car insurance is more expensive, or maybe I've just learnt where to get the best deal from in England. I don't know. But yes, I'd say that's more expensive here, but cars I'd say are cheaper. Um, uh, what else? Oh, of course, we know that petrol is cheaper here. I bought myself a 2 litre Range Rover Evoque. Um, yeah, 2 litre petrol. Unfortunately, they didn't do diesel here. I wish they did because I would still have got a diesel car. Diesel is really cheap here. At home in England, ridiculously, diesel is more than petrol. I mean, that's a con because it costs less to produce diesel by quite a long way than it does to produce petrol. So they're ripping us off there. We know that we are ripped off in England with the price of petrol, with the price of diesel, with road tax, with the ridiculous speed cameras, with the parking fines. You don't get done for parking here. There's no speed cameras. And what you do have to be careful of is the police, because they look for you. But speed cameras here, they tried to introduce them apparently a while back, and people just said, I'm sorry, no, that's against my human rights. So no one would pay the fines. God, I would love that at home if you could say that. So they were just taken down. They were just taken down. But if you get a ticket from a policeman, then that's it. You've got a speeding fine. You've got a speeding ticket. Though I don't think you get points on your licence. It's easier to pass your driving test here, although the lead up to it, the paperwork, as an English person, I don't know about an American, is a right pain in the backside. And it seems to take forever. But once you sit to do your actual practical test, it's a lot easier than in England. And for young people, you don't have to pay, a few £100 doing 20 and 30 lessons with some mediocre driving instructor here. You can literally buy your own car and get your parents to take you out. You don't even have to have P or L plates on your car. So that's better in a way. On the downside, the drivers are really bad here. Oh my God. It's almost like being in Cyprus, or it's almost like being in Dublin. I lived in Dublin for 3 months, and I drove there, and it was like you're driving along screaming, because if as you come to a roundabout, are they going to stop? No one indicates here. If you're on the freeway, which is our equivalent to our motorway, they're overtaking on the inside, on the outside. You're like thinking, I want to go around that, come on. It's just crazy. They don't indicate. Yeah, so the drivers are really, they're not good here. They're not good. I am surprised there's not a lot more crashes and a lot more dented and bashed cars around than I see. But yes, it cost me $44 something to fill up my Range Rover Evoque tonight. And that's a 2 litre diesel, a 2 litre petrol. So that $45 is about £35. Now, I can tell you for a fact that I had a 2 litre Volkswagen Tiguan at home in England, and I had a BMW X6, which was a 3 litre. Now, the 2 litre Tiguan to fill up with diesel was about, depending on the price of diesel at any one time, was between, I'd say, about £73. And if I wanted to fill up my X6, it could go up to £83. Obviously, with diesel, it would last me, I would say, about 9 days, and I do drive around quite a lot. So, whereas here, I would say I'm filling up my car twice a week. So there's not much in it, but then if I had a diesel car here, then it would be a lot cheaper. It would be a lot cheaper. Not that many diesel cars here, but they're becoming more popular. I think BMW do them, Audi do them, Volkswagen do them, but not the Tiguan. They do the Touareg, the Golf. Can't remember what else. Anyway, so I'll have a whole other video on cars because I'm quite a petrol head for a girl. So I'd like to talk about comparing the cars I've had over the years as well. So for women thinking of, or for men thinking of buying a 4x4, I give a bit of advice on that. I've had so many cars. My uncle says I've had more cars than Ford. So I can definitely talk about some of them. Yes, so that's better here. Internal flights are cheaper. There's no trains here. I mean, with the trains you can get are Amtrak, and they're really good. But there's no public transport here for my older son. So he can't drive his car. Although he's bought a car here, he hasn't passed his test. So he can drive it, but I have to sit next to him. And you have to drive here. It's too far to walk anywhere. So he's been getting Uber a lot, and I'm taxiing him around. What's better here is my 17-year-old son is playing for a football team called West Coast. They had a guy come along, a guest coach, come along to coach them, who was actually English this week. He played for Southampton, and he actually played for England. So West Coast is a local team, but that is the quality difference. Whereas when he played for local teams at home, as I said before, it was run by one of the dads who's done a weekend coaching course. Not a picture of fitness by any means. And really, have they had any professional experience or even semi-professional experience as a footballer? These guys have. They are taught by professional footballers from Europe. Um, Lewis's coach is from Switzerland, and I think he played for Switzerland and as a pro, and he runs a professional team here in California, who this guy from Southampton, stroke played for England, plays for. So it's different league. Boy, oh boy, is it expensive. And boy, oh boy, are you schlepping about all over the place. They go to they have training 3 times a week. Um, and they play at least one day out of every weekend. And don't think all those games are local, because they are not. I know that they've got a tournament in Las Vegas coming up. Um, I've had to drive at least an hour, hour and a half to get my boy to his game. And my younger one also plays for a good, they call it club soccer here, called Surf Soccer Club. Um, and it costs around $2,000 a child for them to play in that club. And they are, I mean, it's a business, let's put it like that. It's obviously a business. They'll try and get as much extra money out of you as they possibly can. The price of the kits are $200 to $300. Then they want you to do, like we got sent something today. Lewis is expected to sell 5 tickets for a forthcoming bowl or something, or golf tournament that's coming up, as part of the contract that you agreed when you joined the team. Really? Um, so, yes, where there's an up, there's a down as well. Um, People wise, I would say that the show that I did recently, the singers, the actors that I worked with, I really liked them. They were lovely. And to me, that's where we have a common ground. If you're a performer, if you're an English performer or you're an American performer, you still have that crazy sense of humour. You're not whiter than white. We all love a dirty, filthy joke. We're not frightened to say crude things, and they were a lovely bunch. The director was a really kind man, lovely man, pleasure to work with. Our musical director was a lovely lady, really good fun. Um, Everyone was really lovely in that production, and everyone in that theatre was really lovely as well. It was a great pleasure to work with them and spend time with them. But you do get, and it's kind of been with the kids' sport, where you'll get these goody two shoes people here that they really live by the rules here, which is surprising when you think that you can go to the supermarket and buy a gun. But apart from everything else, they live by the rules. So, for instance, if you're going to watch your child play soccer, you can only stand and watch your child on a particular side of the field. If you wander onto the other team side of the field, you get told to leave. You're not allowed to stand there. No, no, no. You're not allowed. That is breaking the rules. Sometimes you're not allowed to take your dogs to watch the game. Um, it's things like that get right on my nerves. Um, some of the people, one good thing here, good value for money, is my gym. Um, it's $39 a month, and it's a really good gym. It's one of the best gyms I've been a member of for a long time, apart from the David Lloyd in at home in Enfield and in Chigwell. But that was super expensive. That was about 70 something pound a month, whereas this is $39 a month. Um, so that's really good. But some of the saps that go down the gym, they're generally much fitter than the people you see in the gyms in England. But some of the women, they're my age, they're wearing little hot pants, knee socks, bright pink vests, and like their hair's twiddly diddly, like in plaits and braids. And I'm like, are you for real? Anyway, we're coming to 20 minutes again, so I'm going to sign off my part two. For those of you who are interested, I'm a real fan of beauty blogs on YouTube, and I'm going to do a beauty blog comparing beauty products you can buy here in America. Are they better than what you can get in England? So I'm going to be doing that. Please check out my channels, soprano Bella if you're looking for any entertainment, because we are fantastic for corporate entertainment, and Singers in Disguise. This is me, Katrina Murphy, saying goodbye.